So let's do our classic yoga start here. Just for a minute or two, we're gonna lay on our back, maybe with your blocks. If you don't have blocks or you don't want to do an intense position, just lay on your back, to Shavasana, right? But this is a fantastic way to start opening up the core and the breath, and my favorite position for developing the belly abdominal breathing. So this is core class, right? We should bring the breath into the abdomen. So notice the block is being strategically placed underneath my upper back, and then boom, my head is under the second block. Okay? I like the arms wide here, yogis. All right? It's up to you. You can also add the soles of the feet together, knees open. But if you do that, you got to kind of play with the position again. Okay? All right, feel pretty comfortable. Start to relax. Nice big inhale in your nose. Nice big exhale. Big inhale in your nose. Big exhale. Take a few more breaths here. If you like to set an intention for practice, that's a good idea. I used to speak to that a lot more. I love this position. We're getting a lot done physically. We're also very grounding and centered. We're opening up the body a lot. And like I mentioned, one of these things we're working on developing yoga pranayama, the breathing part of the practice, is to bring the breath into the abdominal cavity more. So the inhale starts in like the lowest abdomen and side abdomen, and it kind of expands forward and to the sides and downward. And then exhale, the abdomen kind of contracts and pulls in. And this is a place I find it just happens kind of naturally. So if you are a chest breather, which is associated with sympathetic, more of that stress brain, this is a good place to take regularly and really focus on the abdominal or belly breath, okay? So last few moments here, please. If you'd like to add a breath hold. Some days I like to even reach my arms beyond my ears, getting a little bit more of a big stretch in the underarm. So there's a lot of little options you can take here, depending on how you're feeling. When in doubt, start in this yoga pose, right? It's hard to beat this one. And if you feel really good, guys, you don't need a block for your head, okay? Let that front of the neck open up from looking down at your cell phone too much or whatever it is. All right, I think that's a pretty good start. You can use your hands to bring your thighs back together. Use your hands behind your head to lift your head. Use your core, elbows to sit up or roll to the side. And we will remove our props at your pace. If you want a little longer, that's up to you. We're going to meet on our back, all right? And then we're going to start in this movement, kind of big inhale. We're just going to reach the body fully. Try to stretch more in your underarms and side bodies. You're just kind of feeling out your space, right? You're not moving with exactly what I say. I'm kind of ahead of you just to kind of guide you, okay? So you're taking your full body stretch, feeling it in the underarms, the hips, the abdomen, the back. Eventually, we'll take our knees into our chest for our first squeeze. Okay, then you can kind of circle your hips, massaging out the lower back. Bend and straighten your knees, roll out your ankles. Just like I say in down dog, move in ways that feel good for a few moments, guys. Open and close the thighs. Still in warm-up mode, guys, not challenging strength or flexibility. Left leg goes forward. Pull that right knee in. Maybe point and flex the foot a few times. Really, that's one of the majesties of yoga, this kind of active dorsiflexion and pointing to the toe. A lot of articulation in the foot. If you know how to pronate and supinate from the ankle, like put the inner edge, kind of press the outer edge of the foot forward and then the inner edge of the foot forward, and then I kind of roll the ankle, okay? We'll switch legs. Main thing is to pull your knee toward your shoulder, kind of pinch the hip flexor area, okay? The coal in, I'm pointing and flexing the foot, I'm pronating, supinating, I'm circling the ankle, wiggling the toes. If you remember, probably a month or a month and a half ago, mid-December, we did that exercise in gentle yoga where we bunched up the towel with our toes in the air and on the floor. And that's that same principle of like kind of wiggling your fingers, like your toes like they're fingers, and making a little fist and spreading your toes. You know, really trying to articulate those toes more. All right, one more time, guys. Big full body stretch. Again, try to go side to side. Find space anywhere you can. Think about stretching and decompressing because a lot of the core stuff is very kind of compressive, okay? Now, we're going to start right into that basics, all right? Feet are going to plant right beyond your sit bones. If you have it, a block goes between your thighs. It's the double. It's like the full range. And I do want you to start a little soft, pressing your lower back down, tilting your pelvis. You can take a few of those. Arch your back, think of it like a laying cat-cow. See how I can slide my hand into my lower back? And then I push my lower back down, I tuck my pelvis. You can even curl your upper body a little, but my middle back is down. My pelvis is off, my head is off, okay? Head, hips down, arch lower back. Right, it's just like, there we are, okay? Cat-cow here. So it's this little cat-cow, and that's really the foundation of this exercise. But we can take it further now. Keep your head and shoulders down, press your lower back down, tilt your pelvis, and then we're gonna lift our hips, going into our first bridge. Again, it's a warm-up, so you kind of feel it out. Squeeze your heels to your shoulders, lengthen your side bodies. And then we'll take that opposite end of the spectrum, massaging our back down. You know, some days you hold long right in the beginning, right? Some days you're kind of moving in and out of it. Arms reach forward, curl the upper body, taking that first kind of really tightening of the abdominals. We're keeping the feet down just to keep our hip flexors soft, okay? Bridge pose, head, shoulders down, arms down. You can lift the hips. Take another couple breaths, and you're kind of just going to bridge into small closed chain crunch, slow in between. So I'm massaging my back down now, going for my second crunch here, pressing my lower back down, curling my upper body. So if you're just joining, yogis, we're doing this little basic crunch. Feet on the floor to start, okay? And then if you want to do extended bridge, you can reach your arms back and lift your hips. And you're kind of dancing between these two poses. As I like to call it, you know, you're kind of painting your own picture. That's what I love. That's what originally like really drew me to yoga. You know, I was jogging and I was like lifting weights and playing sports, and it got very like, you know, repetitive. And then all of a sudden yoga came into the picture. It was like this art that you're kind of, you know, you're together in the class, but you're adding your own personality and making it like authentically yours. And that's what originally like made me fall in love with yoga, the kind of the fun, creative aspect with the challenge. And the group aspect, but it's not like sports where we're competing. We're kind of in it together, kind of helping push each other. So inside the exercises I gave you, you're making it nice and personal. Maybe you hold bridge, maybe you hold crunch, maybe you get pulses, maybe you do a few fasts, right? There's a lot of ways to make this fun. Okay, so listen guys, that's our warm-up movement in the back body, front body, okay? So take your time, bring the knees into the chest. Let's just take a little twist to start. If you need windshield wiping, that's always good. Hips to the right, knees to the left. Good to have a nice pose to wake up your kind of twisted core. Reach your right arm out, look to the right, reach your right knee atop your left knee, so stack your shins and knees more, and take 2 to 3 deep breaths. Go back to breath work. Big inhale in your nose. Remember the belly breath, big exhale. Remember, Mr. Iyengar, the master of alignment and kind of modern yoga, said, the quality of your pose is determined by the quality of your breath. It doesn't matter how flexible or strong you are. That's called gymnastics and you know, more of that kind of fitness. But the yoga aspect is that deeper, subtle layer coming into your awareness more, where you're really focusing on that engine of the cells, the breath work, right? When your body's creating that cellular energy, that oxygen, all your cells are breathing. We want to bring that oxygen, that consistent, continuous high amount of oxygen into that bloodstream, okay? Back to center, no rush, guys. Hips to the left and knees to the right. Lengthen your spine, reach your left arm out, look left. More of a breath work practice now. Less movement, more breathing. If it's ever too easy, you can add like a single leg or cross-legged twist. If it's ever too much, keep your feet on the floor and just let your knees fall to the side. Try to always remember the variations. So as I'm like instructing levels, you know, put them in your mental journal for classes where you're feeling a little tight. You remember the easier, the more difficult. If you're feeling better, you add the more difficult. All right, guys, please take your time. Back to center when you're ready. All right. Now we're going to go for it a little bit. Think a little bit more static stuff. Now, just kind of subtle movements today. Flex your feet, legs straight to the sky. Now, it's not easy to straighten your legs to the sky, okay? Arms go down by side today, all right? Press your palms, shoulders, head. Remember, the main thing that goes down is the lower back, guys. Push your lower back down. Right leg goes about halfway forward. Classic kind of core yoga. Try to flex both feet and hold here. Just a nice little hold. Try to point your toes and then flex your feet. Point your toes, flex your feet, press your lower back down. If you have trouble pressing your lower back down, I do suggest a little lift in the upper body. We will go there eventually though. Now, look how I keep my thighs exactly where they are. Flex your feet, bend both knees, squeeze your your butt, legs stay where they are, straighten both legs. Look at the right leg is still halfway forward, guys, okay? Bend both knees, straighten both legs. So it's knee extension, quads, bend both knees, straighten both legs. But the legs are asymmetrical, do you see that? All right, now hold the legs where they are. Cross your legs a little bit extra. Neutralize your legs, hips with distance. Cross, neutralize. Cross, neutralize. Cross, neutralize. Arms up. Just small movements. I'm going to reach up to the sky. Shoulders down. Up to the sky, not forward. Shoulders down. Lower back down, right? Last three. Up, down, up. I'm not going forward. Down, up, down. Right leg up, arms down. If you need to shake it out or, even take a little bridge there, that's fine. That'll release a little bit, okay? That's not easy stuff, what we just did. Small movements within this position, okay? Arms down by side, lower back down, head down. Left leg's gonna go about halfway forward. So it just makes you think a little bit and hold that in space. Right leg is stacked. Now, flex your foot, point your toe. Flex your foot, point your toe. So keep going, flex and point. So this is our ankle exercise within the tension hold. Now is the knee. So flex your feet, guys. So you're here. Now just bend your knees, keep the knees where they are in space, and straighten both legs, max and flex. So quad, bend the knees, you could point the toe, and then straighten and flex. All the while, your lower back is down, your head and shoulders are down. Last few. So we did ankle. We're keeping it in the frontal plane right now to keep it simple. We could spend all day doing stuff like this, but just gotta pick something here. Now, keep your feet flexed. We did knee, let's do hip, but I'll go adduction, so my thighs cross. Neutralize. I'm not having you go hyper just yet. Cross, neutralize. Cross, neutralize. Last few. If you're confused, guys, see me here? We're just giving a little shortening of the inner thighs. This is all the while work on your lower back and core, right? We're going to hit your core in a moment, kind of neutralize all that tension. Last part, neutralize here. Right leg up, left leg halfway forward, arms up. Lift up. Tap your shoulders slowly. Lift the shoulders up. Tap the shoulders slowly. 4 more. Lift it up. Lower the shoulders. This is tough work, guys. It's okay to take breaks. It's okay to skip it. Last 2. So we're only doing 6. You know, it's just a few at each movement. It's not like a ton, okay? Now legs up, knees into chest, please. You got to take a moment and neutralize the back after that. That's a lot of hip flexor, a lot of strain through the lower back, okay? Depends on where you're weaker, you know, you'll feel it, you know, maybe more in your lower back or hip flexors, all right? So look at that little neutralizer, guys. Now we go for that first bridge hold, little bit different though. Here's the adduction, okay? Soles of the feet together, press your big toe down together, arms down, let's lift the hips. This is like a really underrated, underdone form of our bridge, okay? This is gonna be really a lot of glutes, maximus and medius, more so than regular bridge. Arms can be down by side. Just take a few breaths here. Try to lengthen your core, and you can pulse a little, but instead of pulsing an extension, I like to suggest pulsing posterior tilt. So your pelvis goes like this, instead of your hips going up as a unit, the posterior tilt pulse. Remember I gave some homework assignments about watching some YouTube videos, understanding pelvic tilt. You know, it's really good because they'll show you like skeletons, and they'll show you these like really nice kind of diagrams and, you know, just visual, like drawn out how the posterior and the anterior tilt work, and it shows what it does to your spine and your posture. Watch some videos on pelvic tilt, guys. I swear it will change your yoga practice forever. All right, now we're still really working hard in your core, right? So only gonna do a thing or 2 more. So let's lower down. All right, now I wanna do a big movement. All right, that was a lot of subtle stuff. We gotta get moving now. One of my all-time favorites, we haven't done it in a few weeks. Right arm reaches back, left arm down by side. Widen your feet a little. This is a repetitive twist, usually considered a little safer than alternating. Big inhale, exhale, right hand toward outer left pinky toe. Now look how I go slow, guys. That's the key, that negative, arm to leg, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now go again. If you will peek up at me for 1 moment, let me show you how similar this is to this. Look. It's opposite arm and leg go long, and then opposite leg and arm cross underneath. It's almost like the same thing, a lot of different kinesthetic properties, but here you get longer chain, right? And there's more tension as I lengthen in the front body as opposed to the back body. So kind of playing off that same exercise. And then what you can do if you like the extra challenge is hold that twist and pulse it a little bit. Leg, core, chest. If you want extra, we add pulsing to like every exercise on an end range. But to be clear, that is a good recipe to be sore. Okay, let's do our second side. It looks like most of you are done there. Right arm down, left arm back, and you're going like this on your back. Now, if that's too much, I should have showed you this earlier. You can kind of, you know, this is the basic form. Look, left elbow, right knee. There's less leg movement, right? So you could hover your left foot if you want a little more, okay? So that's an easier version of that same type of exercise where you just kind of have your hand behind your elbow, head, and then you're kind of twisting to the right across the core. You know, this is for this, guys, when you're kind of walking around the kitchen. See all this pivoting through the core? You're, I think that twisting is underdone in a lot of fitness routines, and we want to make sure our body can twist not only freely but stabilize in it with strength. As I go into tension, I can pull back. As I bend over and crunch, just like this, you're doing this right here, and I can stand back up slow. You're basically doing this, okay? It's a fantastic one, yogis, okay? It's good for beginners and advanced. So if you want to hold the last pulse, it depends on what you're here for, okay? You don't have to go too crazy. Just give it options, all right? When you're done, we're gonna meet back in center. I wanna do one last symmetry in the core, all right? Legs go up. Something I teach regularly is the reverse crunch, all right? Arms down by side. You can try a few with your lower back and head down. Most of the time, I teach it here. But let's try it. Arms down, hips down. I will give advanced option in a moment if you want. Legs forward, legs up, knees bent is easier. Lower back stays down is the main objective. I want you to go slow, guys. If you want me to slow you down, I will, but it's nice and slow to start. And then if you want, you can go a little bit faster, but the idea is to, really be clearly aware of muscles engaging the whole time, okay? Look how the pelvic can lift, whether it's straight leg or bent leg. Just notice, watch, my legs don't swing over the body. My legs swing up over the hips, and I pop up a little bit. If you want to go crazy, advanced version is block under your butt. It's underneath your hips. It is not underneath your lower back, guys. I go here. Watch, my legs go forward. I got to really work on kind of pulling my ribs in, and I go here. You're not going to be able to get the reverse crunch here, but you have more hip extension, so you go more hyper range. So here, see how my heels hover, and I'm back up. Okay, this is a little bit more of that advance. Okay, on the block, doing the same kind of slow leg swing. The most advanced would be to kind of hold here and kind of go up a little and down a little. That's really challenging. Last couple breaths. It's a really good way to, guys, if you have trouble with like your lower abdomen muscles, to put your blocks under your butt and do this slow leg lowering and up, you're gonna start to feel it most likely. It's different, it depends on where you hold your body, like your compensation, how your body is designed. I really feel that one a lot in my lower abs. I've done that with people, they say they feel it like way in the upper. I don't really feel that one there. I feel that all in the lower. So when you're done, yogis, let's slowly exit our last symmetrical ab exercise. And you need a little bit of a movement here. And we'll do that last third round of bridge to seal in our back body in the starting part of practice here. If you're gonna go big, it's our single leg bridge. So first kind of one-legged weight bearing, arms down. If you have your block, that's always good. Because in the beginning, we did the abducted stretch. The knees were open like this, okay? And then we did it more active, and then you're gonna squeeze together. Arms down, feet lower back down, and let's lift. Now, if you wanted to do it, don't anterior tilt, posterior tilt more. Lengthen through your core, stabilize with your arms. Shift your weight to your right foot, get light in your left foot, and left leg goes forward. Now still squeeze your block and push through your right heel and pull your right heel to your shoulders. Oh my God, class is almost half over, guys. Where does time go? You're doing core work, right? Time flies. All right, and you put that first foot down. You really have to root down for that foot and get light in your life. Make that process slow, detailed, articulate. So you're pushing down to that other foot, and that other foot gets light and it starts to hover. And then it can start to go forward. Your thighs are still like parallel with the block, right? Yeah, and even flex that hovering foot. And just take a few more breaths here in that final posterior bridge. Yogis, do your one-legged bridge. It's fantastic. It's hip extension and posterior tilt. It's what we work on in plank, in more of like advanced plank work, okay? Let's slowly bring it down. Take a moment. Neutralize sensation. There's been a lot of tension. If you want to do a quick, thread the needle. I'm not going to give you much time here for this, but if you wanted to, that might be a nice little kind of release, slow down for a moment, right? I like to do that. Like I said last week, the intervals, it's like we work you really hard, but then we give you a moment. You're still being productive, but you're just giving the muscles the tension, the stress, a little bit of a slowing down, all right? And then you can do your second side. Intermediates, you might look towards happy baby or plow, swinging your legs up over your body instead of the figure four. Eventually, we're all gonna make our way to seated by grabbing the hamstrings and kind of rocking forward and back. You take a few extra rocks on days it feels good, and then we're gonna swing it right around. We gotta start bearing weight in our arms a little bit, right? So take a moment, roll out your wrists, lift your palms. So, I don't do a ton of wrist opening. To be honest, I don't stretch it in weight bearing practice that much. The arms are, they don't bear as much weight as the legs, so they need a little bit more release sometimes. But the wrists, you gotta be careful. You never bear weight on them, you just keep stretching them. You're making them kind of even weaker, right? So for practicing developing strength in the wrist, we want to keep them nice and actually strong. So stretching does make stuff weaker, all right? A little wrist roll, a little palm lift, a quick shake, or a dynamic back of the wrist. I'll do that as opposed to kind of like a stretch before practice. Uh-oh, you guys hear me? I got cut out. I lost you. My internet cut out. Luckily, that hasn't happened very much, but all right, we're gonna do a plank pose, guys. So first plank. This class is a work class, all right? I teach a lot of soft yoga, but this one we're working. Hold on. There we go. Plank pose. You guys hear me okay? Okay. How come no one's in plank then? All right, plank pose. All right, let's do it, guys. Quick plank here, about a good minute. If it's too much, you're on your knees. If it's easy, hover a foot. Anytime we're making it more open chain or unstable, you're gonna get more core, more tonic muscles. Let's remember that balance is very different from a big kind of heavy pose, phasic versus tonic, whatever you wanna call it. Right foot hovers if you're working hard, all right? And you know how to add a balancing plank. Anytime a teacher says plank, and I'm feeling excellent, I always go into right foot hover, posterior tilt, hip extension, knee extension, point to toe, and then maybe the opposite arm can reach forward if you want to go big, or I add like a low plank. So I'll go bent arm. I can hold a pretty long plank. I've gone 10 minutes before. That's long, but not really, right? I always add unstable. Try to work on making it difficult for yourself. We're only holding about another 10, 15 seconds. If you're hovering one foot, do the other. I can't teach the perfect group class, guys. I try to mention stuff for people who are in different spaces, all right? I go to classes a lot and it's just too easy. So I have to add these little things to challenge myself that day. I go to classes some days, it's way too hard, all right? Now, downward dog is where we're gonna meet. Take a couple of breaths. So as I like to call it, we're in a plank buffet. All you can eat, all different types of planks. Eat as much as you'd like. Everything's included, all right? So you're in down dog, you're taking a moment. And now we're gonna come back to our second plank, but I wanna do that moving lateral rotational plank. So some of you might wanna, I'm gonna give options. The goal is to come to a twisting, moving plank. Now, easiest is something like this, right? Where I kind of go here, here, and I'm alternating on the knees. Strong is where I kind of go heels to the left, heels to the right. Whether I'm on my forearms or not, I can dip my hips a little bit. I'm taking it nice and slow. Got to be a little careful of your toes, right? You don't want to jam your toes. Now, more advanced is feet wide, hands closer.
Keep my feet down. Inhale, right arm out and open. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up and open. Exhale, down. So the first part is where my lower body goes to side plank, but my upper body does not. That next part is where my lower body stays in high plank, my legs, but my upper body goes to side plank. Everyone get that? First part is this, lower body moving. Second part is upper body moving, okay? Easier is here, or easiest is probably there, right? So last couple, a little bit more of a moving plank variation now, okay? A lot of times we get in this habit of always kind of holding planks. If we're ever moving, it's kind of forward and back. You guys know I like to have you move the side plank a lot, in and out, not just hold side plank. Same principle, but rotational, okay? Downward dog, yogis. Sorry, we're not going to up dog yet. Some of you are already going there. That's fine with me. All right, we're going to drop down to our knees. Symmetry, front line tension. All right. Now, we do this one a lot. Good one to remember. It's one of the core foundations. Feet parallel, knees parallel. As I inhale, it's like the capital letter Z. Do you see how the shoulders, hips, and knees relate? I am not going like this. I am not going like this. I keep my posture tall and stacked. I really got to work on pressing my feet down, okay? And working posterior tilt. So not that, a little bit more of that if anything, okay? Come back up. Only go a little bit, guys. Go an inch and hold. Breathe. Last few.
You know, this is one of the best exercises that you can do in the calisthenic form to, let's say, heal knees that are over irritated. Now, it's only half or a third of the equation really, but, or a quarter, because this is like our front line stabilizing. If you have sensitive knees from running, be easy, okay? Because you can have irritated tissues, and we're pulling those in tension. What happens, guys, as we do a repetitive exercise and your muscles weaken, you get musculotendinous junction inflammation. It's not like the belly, the muscle shuts down, so a lot of that tension and compression is where your muscles connect to ligaments and tendons, or to tendons, and then that's where you get that musculotendinous irritation around the knee and stuff, all right? Let's get out of there, guys. Take a moment. Let's come back. One more plank. I did mention it. I want to add the push-up, moving plank work. I want you to go slow. Let me show you what slow is. Heels to the left, right arm hovers. Right arm reaches right, chest turns open, right arm reaches up. Right arm reaches down, chest starts to turn down, look. High plank, right hand hovers, right hand down. Bend elbows slow. Straighten elbows slow. Heels right, left hand hovers, chest faces down. Chest turns slowly out, left arm goes high. So this is called slow, okay? It's basically side plank to side plank, low push-up, in between. So now we take that rotation and the upper body and the lower body together, okay? So that's the full movement. Now, people who want to go easier, watch me here. Forearms down, watch. Hips to the left, left forearm turns in. Right knee kind of has to lift, right arm high. Slowly, I turn down. You gotta pad your knees, right? Back to forearm half plank. Shins to the right, left hand kind of guides, left arm up. Yogis, just being strong in side plank and in regular plank is not a full, well-developed body. Our body gets injured when we move, usually between complex ranges of motion. Like, let's say, standing to bend over like this and back up. The goal is to strengthen the body to be more capable in movement. Being just flexible is not good. Being over tight is also not good.
that middle ground. The body is freely movable, but strong through all the movements, okay? It's okay to skip any of it. I see a lot of you are not doing it. That's totally fine. We're working hard today, all right? I want one more round of our lean backs here. So when I see about half of you are done there at least, so I keep moving forward. Different muscle chain, feet press down, arms reach forward. Back up, okay? Take a moment, even hold, right? Work on squeezing your butt and your thighs. So some of you are still going with your other thing, the push-ups. Do it. Add pulses on end ranges, even like hover. Right, if I can show you, I'll wait till you're done. I'll wait till you're done. I'm doing a private yoga lesson with a younger woman who's a really advanced practice. She's been practicing like 20 years, right? And we're working on, she says she's plateaued, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, let's do all the stuff you don't get to do in class, all the stuff you don't get to do in yoga. So the whole practice is very different. But if I can show you, because I know a lot of strong practitioners today, what we do, guys, eventually we start in one-arm dog, one-arm plank, side plank, flip dog, even one-arm up table, and everything is kind of more in one arm. And I'm kind of breaking this down. You can even do a one-arm push-up, come back up, dog, plank, side plank here, even twist the chest down. So all this kind of one-arm work, I gave you a little dose of that, right? But that is starting to come into like a high intermediate play practice, okay? Let's bring it down to the chest, guys, and shake it out. Now we got to hit back body strong, okay? And to start, lengthen our core. Some of you already went here. Add that if you like. Not going to go there because we did restorative fish and bridge, but you're here. I want my arms wide and my fingertips down, my chest lifted, all right? Lift your right leg only, couple breaths. You can like pulse it up a little bit too. Lift your chest, roll your shoulders back and down, almost pull on the floor. Right foot down, left foot hovers. Remember, guys, we don't have to stretch muscles always. I'm using this class for active release, which means like mainly reciprocal inhibition. When we activate our glute here, we are encouraging the hip flexors to release. We're not over tensing, right? So we do get a big dose of reciprocal inhibition. If we over tense, overstrain, over contract, we don't get that as much in an antagonist, okay? So now both feet down, keep your chest lifted if you can the whole time. There's lower back more, and then boom, okay? A few more. Come on, feel that butt turning on. A lot of lower back stuff today, guys. Now listen, take a little breather because now we're gonna switch it up a little bit. All right, so we had our arms here, arms behind, down. I do want the arms to lift here, yogis. I don't want you to lift your feet. I want you to move just your chest. Keep your feet down, please, all right? Point your toes. Here we go. On your inhale, lift your chest, your arms up and back. Lower down, arms about 3/4, chest about 3/4. Back up. Lower down, back up. Don't, try to relax your neck, lengthen your neck, try to make your neck more comfortable. Feet stay down, hips stay down, posterior tilt, just your chest is lifting. I call this a posterior crunch. Crunch sounds like a bad name for your lower back, but the idea is to contract your muscles with only active, like subtle range, and lower down inactive always. So keep your lower back tense. Tense is how we build strength, right? Tension's not a bad word in the body. It's very necessary. Pressing, keeping that tension, negative, contracting, then negative. contracting. Now in the advanced version here, you know, what we would do is I'd hold that tension, I'd reach for my right thigh and then my left thigh. So there's this like little side bend in the back crunch. But just be, you know, be careful there, guys. That's not for everyone. Okay, this little side bend. You could also do it like this. Very subtle. Okay, we'll lower down. Please take a moment. And then we got one more round here, guys, but we're gonna go the big movement today. If it's too much, just do this. Locust, everything lifts and holds. You can go up and down a little bit like this, but if you're gonna try the whole thing here, guys, watch me. Arms forward, palms down, feet about hips width distance, toes point. Lift legs, lift chest, lift arms, okay? You're gonna reach, lengthen, lift. You're gonna exhale, squeeze your heels, pull your elbows back, try to literally touch your elbows with your heels, okay? Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last few, please. If not, just do locust. It's kind of like holding your legs and your arms. Again, you can kind of lower down a few inches and lift up your legs, arms, and chest. I mix it up. People always say, should I hold, should I move? And the answer is always both. It's context. Like, what do you do less of? Does your body feel like it needs a little bit more movement? People tend to hold yoga poses like this one. So maybe move a little extra up and down, okay? People are like, I want to advance my yoga practice. I'm like, what postures do you the least of? What postures don't you like? What postures do you avoid? Do all those only, right? And then the plateau is gone. The plateau is so far gone, you can't even see it anymore. But then you find a new plateau, and then you got to find a way around that one, right? So listen, guys, child pose. You're welcome to take up dog or cobra. All right, now take your time. You take extra breaths in child pose. Maybe just a couple, like 3 or 5 vinyasa chaturangas. So we kind of meet back in dog. We're going to inhale, shift forward to plank. Bend the elbows. Just a couple of nice big movements. A little bit more stretch. So every time I push back to dog, big opportunity for stretch and anterior tilt. Heels down, knees straight. Okay. I kind of round my spine. Big stretch for the front body. Posterior tilt. Right? The opposite of dog. Toes point. Hip extend. Here, hip flex. Anterior tilt. Ankles dorsiflex. Just take 3 more. If you want to do cat-cow or child pose to cobra, a big neutralizing movement, please. So we're going to finish up here with a quick closing standing series. We'll eventually meet in down dog and walk our feet forward. Now, I'm kind of just saying, take a couple chaturanga. It's not really a focus right now. Okay, we're going to inhale, take a little half lift. Take a little stretch for your toes if you'd like. You can go here, here, if you'd like, arms up and over. Again, just a kind of subtle strengthener after the work, down on the chest, a movement, and then a stretch. Think interval. If I say that, it's kind of like, okay, we're up here, let's bring it down here a little bit. Or it's like, okay, we're down here, interval, let's go back up. By that, I mean intensity of strain, stress, heart rate, challenge. You know, the shift. Let's stand up, please. All right, guys. I want to do the intense squat kriya. It's been months since we've done this variation, but this is the power squat kriya. All right? I like to teach this one a lot. My feet are wide here. I shake it out. My arms got to go forward. Do you notice this is plank? Boom. Right? Now, we've done this actually like this. This is what you're going to do with standing. Okay? So, let's do it. I'm going to watch the timer here. Left hand on top of right. Left hand on top of right. I'm going to keep my arms forward to keep me honest here. Here we go. Inhale, exhale.
think like I always visualize it like a piston in an engine. It's like, and it's creating energy, heat, explosive fire energy. This is a fire exercise, guys. Okay, so if you can speed it up, your arms stay here. Yogis, I squat too deep. Watch. Okay, you do not have to go deep. It is really beneficial to just do this. Just hold your arms level to the floor. Keep your chest kind of tall. I see a couple of you look like you're going like this, guys. Be careful with that. All right? Bend the knees as much as you can. Keep your heels down and keep your chest from going too far down. Okay? See how my shoulders and chest stay upright? Come on, keep going, faster. This is power. Yes, I'm telling you to move fast. If you can't move fast, you want to learn and do some functional fast movements, okay? Now go slow, stand up. Nice job with your first round. Give it one of these. The good news is we only doing 2 rounds. But the bad news is we're going right into our second round. Now, listen, guys, I see some of you got your feet really close together. Modify that with going a little bit wider. So another way to do squat kriya, if you want to go big, watch, bend, look at the little hop. Now, you got to be careful. You got to catch yourself like a shock. Watch this. My feet go wider. My feet go really wide, turned out. Watch. My feet come closer together slowly. Each hop, I'm going an inch. Feet together. Hop. Now, if your feet were together, make sure they're a little bit wider. Here we go. Second round. Right hand on top. Inhale. Don't let your knees buckle in. See that? No good, Bob. Knees over feet, basically. Weight in the heels as you go down a little bit more. Come on now. Who wants to get strong? Step into the moment. Work. Breathe. This is our kind of fast twitch movement of class. Again, we're not going to do handstand hops today and stuff, so move fast, up and down. Come on now. You're on 1 minute. You have about 35 seconds left. Finish strong. Up and down, up and down. Come on now. 12, 11, 10. Finish strong here. Pump the last few out. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a moment. Now that's the beginner version, right? You know, in Kundalini, we do it 2 sets of 6 minutes. And, that's where we're really approaching, the more advanced level there, okay? Going longer, all right? Widen your feet a little bit, please. Big inhale, arms up. Side stretch. Remember the interval. Right hand down the right leg, left arm up and over. Still lengthen your right side body a little bit, but pull your abdomen in so you're not just getting heavy and compressing. Okay? Arms up. Side bend, second side. Hopefully you're feeling your quads a lot, right? We're done with that. We're doing one little last ab thing if you'd like to finish that, but we're basically done with frontline chain, all right? A lot of that today, okay? Now, back to center, please. Feet about hips width distance. We just want to do one abduction exercise, all right? So just find your nice light chair, but today bring your arms wide. See how my palms face forward? I spread my fingers. Now bend your knees, hover your left foot an inch. I really like to put a band around my thighs, all right? Now left leg just goes out to the left. It's kind of an awkward posture. There's this certain series in yoga called literally awkward postures,
okay? Now just notice I'm tilting the upper body. Try to keep the upper body a little bit taller and lift that leg. Now listen, your left knee goes back, okay? And if you want the extra challenge, bend your right knee, keep your right knee heel, and bend the chest a little bit lower. And hold, hold, hold. Think balance. Remember I said tonic exercise is very different from the phasic. This is both. Now get the chest low, weight in your right heel. If you want extra, straighten your left leg and lift it. Hover it an inch. Lift it. Okay, lift the chest, knee in, left foot down. So we're still in chair, okay? Left foot down, right foot hovers. Arms are wide today, yogis. Widen your arms. You're almost done with the strength. We're basically doing this, and we're gonna bring it down to the ground. Now the right foot hovers, bring it out. See from the side? Okay. Now, if you like the extra challenge, remember the right heel goes back a little bit. So I see a lot of you, so you look like you're like this. Back heel, if it's anything, it's back. If you like the challenge, get low. Bring the chest down. Anytime we bend over more, it's more core. All right, it's more weight, so it's gonna be considered more difficult. And you can probably feel why, okay? You're here. If you feel good, straighten that right leg. Come on, yogis, this is where your leg's getting strong. Remember, we just did moving legs. Now it's like static, small movements. If you feel good, straighten that right leg, lift it up. Now get lower in the chest, bring that right foot to hover like an inch. You can put it down for a moment too. All right, and then you hover it an inch again. It's kind of like our abs. We did the moving, and then we did the small, slow movement, the subtle movements. Okay, then you lift that leg, get low, lift the chest, bring the knee back in, bend the knee, chair pose, stand up, squeeze your butt. That's it, a little less standing yoga today, guys, all right? Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, slowly bow forward. Inhale, half lift. One last vinyasa if you'd like. This would be a chance to take a little handstand if you'd like against the wall, headstand. See right there, I just cracked my back in that nice cobra. After all that stiffening stuff. So guys, final exercises of class before we take a stretch or two. Just something, if you want, one last little ab work. If there's anything else you want to do, that's fine. Okay, boat pose. This is called high boat. It is a cat-cow. It is a slow, more full range exercise. Inhale, low boat, exhale, high boat. Inhale, low boat, exhale, high boat. Now, if you can't do this, say you have a little couch next to you, you hook your toes under the couch, look, round, round, round. Think cat. Slowly as you can, inhale, tap your shoulder. Use that couch to do like an assisted closed chain sit-up. It's like a friend pins down your feet. Sit-ups are much easier then, right? Try not to use much momentum. Keep momentum minimal. It's okay to do a little bit of that, but that is a good way to encourage injury. You're kind of basically doing a range without the strength to do it. You got to find a way to start though, right? So if it's too much, feet on the floor, if it's easy, you're here, arms back, legs straight, tap your toes, arms back, tap your toes. Okay, last few. Maybe we've done enough, yogis, you know, it was the whole class was right in your core. So, you know, you got to draw that line when I get doing a little too much, okay? I'll give you the opportunity to work a lot though. So if you want one last thing, you could just go here and pulse it out. That's what I usually do, like big movement until that starts to fatigue pretty good. And then it's like train till failure. So I'll hold like here, even just kind of, and then I'll add a little pulse of the hips, chest, something like that can always be good to close it out. Now, yogis, to finish up practice today, I did want to do one more bridge, the sliding bridge. Now, if you're not used to sliding bridge, it's very unique. So I'm going to meet on our back here. This is it. After this, you're taking a stretch or two, and then you're done, okay? So sliding bridge is fantastic. Now, the way to really start this maybe is one leg. I have one blanket off, or 1 foot off the blanket, 1 foot on, and I'm gonna lift into my bridge. Watch the right leg. It slides forward, put some weight into it, arms down, pull it back. Legs forward, right leg forward, pull it back. That's really how it starts, okay? Then you're gonna do, switch sides. But if you wanna go for the big one here, and this is totally doable for most of us for sure, just try not to arch your back. Posterior tilt. Inhale, both legs forward. Look at my toes, the feet flex. Pull it back in. Inhale forward, exhale back. It's really good stuff, yogis. Options, if you want to do wheel pose instead, up table, regular bridge, restorative bridge. You can start the unwinding now, but if you want to do one last back line, keep hip extension, posterior tilt, and now bend and flex the knee. We did the opposite line in the beginning of class. We did all those straight legs. We did the bent knee moving to warm you up in locust. The same thing, right? We held hip extension. We were going like this. But we did it with the chest down. We already did this exercise. So you got one more round here. Take a little breather. Nice. Most of you are doing it.
Nice, Victoria. Come on, squeeze those hamstrings. Nice, Brian. Nice, Kev. Nice, Steven. Cast up only people I can see. Uh-oh, some of these are in Shavasana. Are you doing it mentally? That's what Rodney Yee always says. He's one of my favorite yoga teachers of all time. And he's always like, okay, you don't want to do it? Just lay down and do it in your mind. You still get benefits. It's like your body doesn't really know the difference from the real experience or the fake. I remember in neuroscience, they were talking about you watch a really scary movie and a kid's really scared. It's actually a real stress response. The kid is really scared, actually. You don't want that for a kid too much. And it's the same with muscles. If you visualize it in your head, slowly press your feet down, lift your hips, your feet are on the blanket. You're doing this in your mind. And the legs swing forward. Ooh, feel that tension as you lengthen. It's working that lower back. You visualize in training, you're still going to get a lot of muscular benefit, actually, right? A lot of the Olympians, they have visualization training where they sit in for an hour in a group and they're visualizing their form and them winning and feeling good, and they're getting the mind used to that process. All right, guys, I've worked you hard enough. Really nice job today, guys. You did your sliding bridge. Some of you are still going, but I look at you, most of you look kind of done there, right? So I think we need a meter rotation, all right? Need a release or two. We're gonna call it a Shavasana in about 3 to 4 minutes. So we're gonna go about 5 minutes late probably, okay? Feet wide, knees knocked left, left foot on outer right thigh. Now, the left foot's maybe on the outer knee. Just start slow, be easy. This is a big stretch, okay? Both knees went left. My feet started wide. The left foot maybe went on the outer right knee. Widen your arms, close your eyes. Back to center, please. That is a big stretch. All right, back to center, knees right, right foot on outer left knee. It's a good idea to flex the feet. Help protect your knee a little bit. If there's another hip stretch calling to you, you can. And just a reminder, guys, if anyone, this is a very likely class to cause soreness, deep soreness too, right? And you want to get better at when you find your body sore. It's a good sign, right? I actually love when I'm sore. I don't get sore that much, but when I do, I work on it that next day, it's like an opportunity for a different level of growth to kind of heal your body. So you look at that as an opportunity to get better at using methods to kind of rebuild back from kind of overwork. So I do have a foam rolling video. If you ever need it, just reach out to me. I can send you a link to that video, a temporary link. So if you're ever too sore, think like foam rolling, nice stretching. And to remind you, tomorrow night, 5:30, I'm doing a yoga sculpt. So it's going to be a nice yoga class holding some yoga postures with some nice light weight training. I want to add some of that into practice. If you don't have weights, 2 pounds, 1 pound, like cans of tomato sauce, a gallon of water is 8 pounds. You get a 2.5 gallon of water, it's 20 pounds. That's a good way to do it just around the house. Let's keep going here, guys. Block under butt. So this is going to be like my last big stretch. I want to do a hip flexor release, okay? Left leg goes forward, right knee comes into your chest. This is like holding a lunge. We didn't do any lunges today. That's rare, all right? I'm pulling my knee in, I'm letting my left leg go forward. Breath or 3. If you want a little bit more, you can take it behind the hamstring and straighten the leg. Pull, flex. So my hips are lifted on the block. My left leg is descending forward. My right knee is coming to my chest. If you want to try the big stretch, your other block has to be next to you. Look at the angle here, guys. You see how you see my second block? I roll to the left. My right knee goes across to the left. Biggest spinal twist of class. Our biggest twist was the one in the beginning. It wasn't a big day for like big stretchy twists. Might be good to get one in here. If you have back pain, irritated from the practice, go easy. Okay, don't over twist here, okay? Now, go slow, guys. I still have the one block under my hips. I'm across on my other block here. And then I'm going to come back to center, place my right foot down. My left knee comes in like I'm in restorative bridge. My right leg goes forward, my left knee comes in. Want a nice long hip extension before we twist. More is to straighten your leg, hands behind the hamstrings. Now I'm just going to remind you, you don't need to move yet, but that second block would go kind of right outside the block that's under me. Boom, boom. Knee would bend and then take it across. And you got to play with the position of your block here, yogis. Reaching my left arm out, my left knee went across. Remember, you can just do this on the floor. So say you didn't have blocks, it's fine. You're here. We did this in the beginning, actually, right? All right, now what I'd like you to do is kind of finish up that twist, and then you're gonna just come back to center and take one moment to kind of neutralize. Massage your back. That was a big class, okay? I'd like to think like yoga class is one of my most difficult classes of the week. We got Saturday morning, Thursday morning, and Tuesday morning. They're every other day there. So less gentle classes in the mornings. I have a little bit more gentle and stretch in the evenings. So, if you're tight, make sure you're thinking self-care tomorrow and kind of rehab practice, okay? So, last movement, last breath, last, stretch. Let's eventually come to our back and just take a short closing meditation. You just want to calm your nerves, yogis. Don't overlook this pose. Very unique. Okay, you lay on your back if you need to relax really deep, or you can sit and meditate. Okay, close your eyes, take a nice deep breath if you'd like, exhale it out. And then you want to let your bones get heavy, relax your abdomen, your jaw, your eyes, and you really just melt into the floor. Final pose of class, conscious relaxation, meditation,